Hello and welcome to We'll Run For. This is your host Tom, and with me as always are Aaron.
Hello.
Michael.
Hello.
And Diana.
Hey, hey.
Hey guys, it seems like only yesterday that we spoke.
Or the day before.
It wasn't yesterday. It was like 3 days ago.
Yes.
Same.
When we realized that you were going away and we made
How was Hawaii?
plans. Oh, yeah. How was Hawaii? Because we're in the future.
I'm going to say it was great.
Yeah, if I'm making predictions, we spent a lot of money.
Tom got sunburned.
I've definitely got sunburned. I took about 5,000 photos.
Diana didn't get sunburned because she got a base tan before she went away.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
What I heard.
I got spray tan today. So, you know, I'm much like Tinkerbell. I die if I don't get attention. So before I travel, I had to get my lashes done, and then I got my spray tan. And I don't know, a spray tan just affects your mood. Like, you feel good. Like, I always feel like you look thinner when you're tan, number one. So then I automatically feel better. And then, I don't know. I mean, once my sticky feeling, once I shower tomorrow, because you can't shower.
I know. So I like being tan, but I actually don't really like the spray tan. I've done it a few times, and I'm not a fan.
No, I love it. I go to the girl who just she sprays you, so you're not in a booth.
Okay.
Mm.
So it's you and your top off, and she's right at your boobs and spraying you down.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about the spray tan. It just never does it for me. I think it's because it is just a little off. I can tell that it's a little off in color from what I normally would be, and so it bothers me.
She was like, "What do you want?" I was like make me really, really dark. And so she went away. She did some special mix for me. And then she's like, "I put an extra drop of this in because you said that you get dark normally when you tan." So
yeah,
tomorrow, once this sets in, it's going to be real dark.
I definitely love the tan in general. It's like my goal the first week of May is usually to start getting as tan as possible for the summer.
Yeah.
So I get it.
It's always fun because Tom is pasty white. So when we're even in the middle of summer, so when our legs are next to each other on a beach chair.
The funny part is that Michael is milky white, but he actually does get really tan. Like last year, his arms, because he works outside, were darker than mine, and I got a little mad about it.
That's a normal reaction to someone else's tan, is to get mad.
Oh, I get jealous of people's tans.
I do too. Oh, gosh. It is that time of year, though, that today we went out for a run, and it's 80-something degrees out.
And you guys went late, too.
I wasn't, because we were going to maybe go hiking, and then
somebody was up gaming lazy until 4:30 in the morning or something.
So he didn't want to go hiking with us.
So I knocked on the door at 9. I'm like, "Yeah, we going hiking?" It was like,
no.
I was like, okay.
So by the time we got out there, it was a little late for the fact that it's already getting hot in New Jersey. Yeah. So I wasn't really liking that. But halfway through the run, I said, this is the time of year where you forget about sunblock. But I could feel my arm already getting really hot as we were out there for 8.5 miles.
We were in the woods, though, so it was a lot of trees. So it wasn't terrible.
No, but there was definitely some, when we were in that field that was a little sunny.
Yeah. We were just out in the sun. Yeah.
So it was hot when I ran on Wednesday night. I was like, oh my gosh,
that was the warm day.
Yeah.
It's funny when I got back, I was like, oh, this is why Tom argued for cold weather running, because I was gross when I came back. But I feel like I'm only like that the first couple of runs in the heat, and then I'm fine.
There's that meme that my friend Lynn and I always send every year that's we spent all winter complaining about the heat so that we can now that it's warm we can complain about the cold or whatever it is. It's something like that. It's a funny little meme, and we're that's us. We complain the whole winter, and then the second it's hot out we're oh my god, this is awful. There's no winning.
Any other updates?
I hear Diana has a big update.
Oh, yeah. We got to get the update. The Orange Theory update.
my Orange Theory update from 2 days ago. So I finished my marathon.
You mean like 2 weeks ago? Two weeks ago.
Like 2 weeks ago. But really the next day from when we recorded the first time. So yeah, that is done. I got a pair of socks that are humongous. So those Toms.
I got new socks.
Was my little prize thing. So I was excited. I don't know. It's just like a nice little goal, but I need to talk to whoever like created Orange Theory and created all this marketing, right? So I've already talked about how expensive it is and how it's too expensive and I shouldn't be doing it because it's so expensive. But then what they do is they do these things that are like marathon month. So you're like, oh, it's $15. I'll just do it. And there's something coming up in May that's called, I don't know, something like Mayhem or something that's whole week, but in the summer. So I was like, well, I should do that. And that's like another $15. Then I end up paying like $200 a month because I'm already almost paying.
Oh, because you need to do enough classes to be able to do it or something?
Yeah. So, and I already went to the unlimited. So I'm already at that. And then it's like an extra $15 a month for whatever freaking nonsense is going on because I'm like, I want to participate.
It's a cult. You have joined a cult that makes you pay for it. That's what this sounds like to me.
No, it's 100% a cult. It's so bad, and we'll see if I actually do it. But like last night, I was looking on where on Hawaii there are Orange Theories.
I was just going to ask that. Are you going to?
You dare.
There's not one on the island we're spending most of our time on. There is one on the island that Alani is on.
Okay.
But that's breaking my I'm staying on Alani no matter what happens rule.
Do they still charge extra at certain ones to reserve your class?
I've never had to pay. I think they do at like certain locations.
Yeah.
When I go to Arizona, I don't have to pay extra. I don't know about Hawaii. I have no idea.
Tom, what did you do the last 2 weeks or 2 days?
I'm so confused. I don't know which narrative I'm supposed to stick to. I'll tell you what I am going to do though. And I walked our dog this morning, Archie, the rescue
I saw your little story
around our lake, and I'm always in my phone, but I think I'm going to sign up for the Jeff Galloway 10-miler virtual challenge.
Oh, cool.
That I think you just got to do it by like the end of May or something.
Okay. Is that going to something specific for him?
No, this is like his
normal stuff.
His normal something.
Okay.
Gotcha. It's good. I want to go down 1 year and do his race in Atlanta.
Yeah, the Atlanta, the one that Run Eat Drink always goes to and talks about. Yeah, I've wanted to do that. I've wanted to do a bunch of races in Atlanta. Because Peachtree is huge on my bucket list.
Yeah, we say we want to do that.
That one sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds very shamrocky, flying piggy. Like it seems like it's just that kind of fun. The whole city comes out. Yeah.
I don't know. What else did we do? We did 10 miles, or 9.5 miles yesterday. I don't know. We did something. We stayed flat yesterday because we thought we were going to go hiking today. Today we added some elevation. This next week coming up, or in the past, by the time you'll listen to this, we will have actually done the Five Sisters, which is that 5,000 feet of elevation, 13-mile hike that we're planning for next week. Wowza. So yeah, that's the peak of our training, and then we'll be done. Not done, but we'll be tapering.
I don't know how much elevation it is, but we're hiking Diamond Head.
Okay.
That's a pretty good hike.
Yeah, it's a good hike.
I know we're doing that. Okay. At least that's the plan.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in Hawaii that look amazing. I actually bucket list races. I have a couple of them in Hawaii. What's the ultra that's in Hawaii that
100?
Yeah.
I know it's a lot. I know it's a huge distance, but do they have to sound like you know what I'm saying? Like
the fact that they named it hurt.
That's an incredibly tough race.
There's a lot of them like
Hawaiian,
that, right?
It's called the Hawaiian Ultra Running Team's Trail 100 Mile, hence the HURT.
Oh, yeah.
Hawaiian Ultra.
Well,
I knew it was an acronym. I just couldn't remember what it stood for. Yeah. This year is actually, I see 2021 is canceled. So
I don't know what time of year they usually do it.
I'm not sure either. Yeah. But that's on my bucket list, as is just the Hawaii Marathon. Like I would just do the regular half marathon or marathon and fun run and see the sights.
See the sights.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah, we'll see if I do that hike.
It's only 560 feet.
No, well, it's not. It's on. I told you it's the same island that's on Alani, and I'm not paying to be at Alani to be not on Alani.
That's a fair.
Well,
point.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Next time we go back, we won't be at Alani, and then we can do whatever we want.
Yeah. Because if you're specifically,
how many days are you at Alani too?
We get there Tuesday night, and then we leave Friday.
Oh, so you don't have a whole lot of time at Alani either.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to get your money's worth there.
So we're going away for 11 days. How many pairs of underwear would you bring?
Probably because it would have to include running underwear. Probably like 20.
Okay, that's what I said, and everyone thought I was crazy. I was like, "You can't, like if you're traveling, you always bring like double the amount of days of underwear."
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm with you.
Underwear
and everyone's
socks,
like,
yeah.
Everyone's like, "What do you plan on like?" Messing yourself twice a day, and I'm like, I don't know what'll happen. I don't know.
But I can't.
Honestly,
but I can if I want to.
But I can't if
exactly.
I want to.
No,
But,
100%. Because every so often, especially if you're going to go for a hike or something, you might need like 2 to 3 pairs of underwear in a day.
Yes, it's disgusting.
Yeah, no,
why would you not want to change your underwear like twice a day?
You can just
Totally
wash
with
them in
you.
the sink. When I after I run, like if I run in Disney and it's super hot out, I just get right in the shower with all my clothes on and clean them right in the shower with me.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
like a giant washing machine in the shower.
Is it though?
Well, I'm not getting in a tub with them and soaking in my filth. I'm in a shower.
Oh my god.
It's all being washed down. Can we talk about the meme? Like it's probably 2 months old at this point of people not washing their legs in the shower.
Yeah.
What the
that
is wrong?
become a
Whoa,
thing?
Wait, hold on.
That was amazing. It hit a nerve.
What is wrong with people?
I don't know.
But it was I feel like a curse word was just dropped.
Was that a
Curse
thing?
word.
I completely missed that.
It
Yes.
was aggressive.
Well,
You
wait.
missed that? It was a white people thing.
Yes.
About white people
like,
don't wash their legs.
Who's
in the
not
shower.
washing their legs?
Tom.
I wash
By the
my
way,
legs.
it's true.
Tom.
Ew.
We had
this conversation on this
No.
podcast.
Because
It was different because Tom says he didn't wash his feet.
feet. He didn't say
Oh.
legs.
He didn't say legs.
Oh.
I mean, wait, hold on. When we say wash,
Use soap
On your legs.
like you're just
Not just rinse them down, wash them.
Wash
You're not just
them.
washing your top and letting it
No.
just
No. Look,
All right.
we got 3 white people here. Only one of them is not washing their legs.
So maybe it's a percentage thing.
No. And then
The Asian girl is washing her legs.
They talked about it on some show, and the girl and the guy were fighting, and he's like, "You don't have time to wash your legs." He's like, "You spend like 90% of your time doing this," and she's like, "Yeah, because I save all that time not washing my legs."
Good argument.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, what kind of animal doesn't wash their legs?
Man.
Guys, this is why our episodes are so long because we're already at 27 minutes.
Oh,
and
Fine.
we've talked about
I was
It's
worried
fine.
that we weren't going to fill up the time.
I was worried we weren't going to fill up the time either.
Oh my God.
Look, guys, that was just a glance down. I was just curious, and I looked. I was like, "Holy crap, we've been talking about."
It doesn't help that Tom and I are drinking, so
Same.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
drinking.
yeah.
It's fine.
Well,
It's fine.
cheers.
It's fine.
cheers. We're still drinking our St. Patrick's Day beer.
Ooh.
This is Lucky Leprechaun, which is a marshmallow, Lucky Charms,
Oh.
Berliner Weiss.
Yeah, we've been bouncing around a bit like ourselves. So we still actually have a few Florida beers left because we started drinking not Florida beers for a while. So we just went back to
Some crooked can.
Crooked Can again because we bought a lot from Crooked Can.
Yeah,
So,
we need more.
we didn't put all of that in the refrigerator.
I'm a big crooked
we-
can fan.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
pretty good. Yeah,
So-
we'll have to save some for our podiversary. episode.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what we'll drink.
When is that? Did you guys talk about that? Spoiler alert, I wasn't here for a few minutes. Did you guys talk about that?
No, we haven't talked about that yet.
No, let's talk about it now.
May 25th. Just a reminder.
That might be in a couple days. I don't know exactly what date this gets released. So
I don't either.
All
the
right.
17th, I think.
Okay, there we go.
So on
next
May
week.
25th at 8 p.m.
Next week,
we will be recording our anniversary episode that releases on May 31st on live on YouTube and maybe Facebook. And then after, we'll have a little after show or a little after party on Zoom. We'll send out a link so that everyone can join us right after we finish recording the episode so that we can all say hi and chat and say thank you for being a friend.
So
thank you for being a friend.
This is the part where I say, I'm going to blow this out on social media and really
And then not go
get
on social
everybody
media.
excited and rally the troops and all that jazz, and then do nothing.
Everybody's going to be like, wait, wasn't there a live thing coming up?
I don't know.
After our episode comes out this Monday, I will at least make an event
Good idea.
so that people can
Yes,
know when that is.
Good idea.
I think that's a good idea.
So we're gonna forego goal getters this week, obviously, since it's only been 2 days. So if you've accomplished goals in the last 2 days, congratulations.
Yes.
And
If you have accomplished anything in the last 2 weeks from when you're actually listening to this episode, because we're in the future now, congratulations on those too.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Maybe we'll talk about them and do kind of an extreme version on our live show.
On our live show.
That's
Oh,
good.
It's like Disney in the
that
90s.
idea.
Everything was
Oh my God,
extreme.
everything was always extreme.
Yeah, and like if you guys have feedback for our anniversary episode, something like, your favorite moments, the funniest thing that you can remember from the last year, anything you want to share about, your experience listening to us.
Yeah, if you want to hear me sing a song, whatever.
You just let us know.
Little karaoke, okay.
Tom's also trying to still run 5 miles for 5-star reviews.
Yes. Yeah. Those two.
And if anybody likes what they hear, please leave us a review.
Yes.
I'll run 5 miles.
We've begun plans for the Margaritaville 5K we're doing for Megan's wedding, where
Yes.
Tom will be wearing a tutu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, I got to do that too, don't I? Okay, I'll do that for
Are you
now.
going to make a tutu or are we going to buy a
No, I'm
tutu?
going to make some tutus.
Will you? Okay.
I'm going to make them.
I feel like in Margaritaville, like nobody will even notice.
That
Well-
there's a bunch of guys wearing tutus.
Yeah, because I
Probably not.
I want
assume.
Is there a sparkle skirt that has margaritas on
There's
it?
gotta
the
be.
one we have with beer. I feel like I need that.
There's not currently,
You should
just because
mention
I'm
that.
on the Sparkle squad, so I'm kind of like the skirt.
Well, request that, and then I can wear it with my my raw threads that says my race schedule is full of poor decisions, POUR,
Yes.
and it's got a bottle of tequila on it.
Nice.
I feel like the margarita sparkle skirt would actually be a good seller.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'll suggest it.
Yeah, I would make that suggestion.
Yeah.
Tell them we need it by October.
They've probably had something in the past. It's possible that they might even have some like in their factory and stuff like that. Because I know sometimes they'll request, like people will request old skirts or patterns that haven't been around for a while. So I'll see what I can find.
All right. Because I'm awkward. What are we running for?
Oh, we're supposed to be running for stuff.
Yeah, is it different than the last 2 days, 3 days?
I'm running for, in the past, Cinco de Mayo tacos.
Oh, that's a good one.
In the past, I ran for Cinco de Mayo tacos.
I'm running for Vacation Brain because we leave in a day, and I'm already worthless. I can only focus
And when this
on...
gets released, we'll be home for a day.
Yeah. So, vacation.
You'll
That's
still
what I'm
have
running
vacation
for.
brain at that point, probably, too, because you won't be ready to come back to reality.
I am running for cats licking each other's butts, which is happening right next to me right now. No, but I am since I'm on the taper week this week, right before our 24-hour race, I am running to get ready for that. Or no, a week and a half before, sorry. I'm running to get to Disney the week before our race.
Oh, that's right. You are leaving.
I'll be in Disney.
In the future.
I'll be there in a few days.
We'll be there in a few days.
So I'm running for some time at Disney.
I am not, because he's going without me, and I think he's a jerk.
Well, sometimes that happens. You can't go everywhere.
I'm going in June, so I guess I can't be too mad. And then July, and then August, and then probably in October, and then in November, December. So,
there are other destinations where you could travel.
Yeah, we're going to Arizona. We're going to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, yeah.
See? We go other places. Next year, we're going to Big Sur because we're still signed up for Big Sur Marathon. I forgot that got postponed or whatever. Not postponed. What's the word I'm looking for? Deferred. We deferred to 2022.
Yep.
Nice.
Let's see. What am I running? I'm probably going to run for all of the Dole Whip, because in Alani they have Dole Whip, all different flavors. I'm going to go to the Dole Plantation and have Dole Whip there and just Dole Whip my way around the island.
They have different flavors of Dole Whip. Like what kind of flavors do they have?
They have like lime, and they have I know they do special drinks with the Dole Whip on Alani. So I'm excited.
A mango, maybe.
Interesting. I've never thought about having another flavor other than a Dole Whip.
They have lime in Disney World.
Do they? Because I only ever I guess because I don't even look.
Not at the Aloha Isle, but the Tinkerbell float that they do in Fantasyland, that's lime Dole Whip. Okay. And then at the Polynesian, I feel like they have raspberry as well. Yeah,
I do actually think that
that's probably wrong. As someone's yelling at their phone that
right I did know that the Poly has other flavors, but I guess I don't ever get other or think of other flavors when I think of Dole Whip, because I just want the regular Dole Whip.
Yeah, Tom usually gets Dole Whip, and then I usually get citrus swirl.
Michael is anti Dole Whip.
Although I do like that the Dole Whip is non-dairy, so that makes it more accessible for everybody. So I do say that.
Okay,
there you go.
That's a positive.
Well, that's actually good. That's a great transition, because aren't we just talking about Disney today? We decided
we're just talking about Disney.
Yeah, we don't have really a topic. So what did you do, Tom? You created some questions for us, and we're just going to facilitate a discussion.
Keeping it secret from us.
I did. So I have a handful of questions that I just want to go around and ask, and I'll answer myself as well. All Run Disney or Disney related. Is it Run Disney or Race Disney? I know what it is.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
Race Disney was amazing.
Race Disney.
Oh my god, that was a long time ago.
That was at the very beginning of this pod.
Yeah.
First question, and I'm gonna call on people and then everybody answer, but don't interrupt.
Just yell out all at once.
Yeah. All right. First Run Disney race and or favorite race experience. And if you can't think of a favorite race experience, just a good one.
I've only run the marathon. So that's my only, and I've done it 3 times. So
was one better than the other?
I would say actually the last one was super hot was my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because we ran it together.
Aww.
There you go.
I mean, we ran the other one together, but you
ran
away
that
from
was
us.
you guys were driving me crazy.
That was when you ran away from us.
Also, that was like 7.5 hours.
Yeah.
The first one is probably the most memorable, obviously, because it was my first marathon. So that was the year Greg did the accidental marathon. So that was the most memorable, only because it was my first. But my favorite was probably the last one we did, because we ran it. And it was super easy to run for us, and we enjoyed it. So I think that was and I was naked with all the princesses.
That's true. Yes. He did run with almost no clothes on. I mean, it was like 85 degrees out, to be fair. And the princesses probably enjoyed it.
How many people can say they've had shirtless pictures with all the princesses?
Diana, you go.
Oh, I'll do my first. So my first Run Disney event was 2015. I only did the 5K and the 10K. I did the 5K with my friend Caitlin, and it was my first ever 10K. It's the furthest distance I ever ran, and I was really disappointed I didn't push myself to do the half. So that's what actually I think got me into running halves, because I had major FOMO. And it was the year, I guess, after Frozen came out, because Frozen came out that November.
Oh, wow.
So everything was Frozen themed. So it was a Frozen 5K, and then everyone was making jokes because it was the year it was like 20 degrees at the start of the race. Oh. And I just remember, and I think I've told this story on the podcast, that I remember being in the corral for the 5K, and this dad was holding this, I don't know, maybe 5-year-old for the 5K. And the kid was just crying because it was so cold. And the dad goes, "I'm so sorry. I thought this would be fun."
Oh, my God.
Poor kid.
And that just sticks in my brain forever. But I remember just being so excited because it was my first Run Disney event. I was there with my friends. I was really excited to buy costumes for the first time. That was, I think, the first run I'd ever bought costumes for. Yeah, that was just a great event.
I'm sorry. Did you say it was Princess Weekend?
Yeah, it was Princess Weekend.
Princess, nice.
Yeah, Princess.
Oh, I just remembered. I actually ran a Disney 5K like 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I think you mentioned that.
Yeah. So that was technically my first. I think it was still called the Family Fun 5K at that point.
Oh, with Wine and Dine? Or was it with Marathon Weekend?
I don't even know. I don't know.
It obviously did not stick with you.
Yeah, like it was a while. I mean, it was so, like, I don't have that great of a memory.
That was before you started running then, like.
Yeah, it was just like a random thing. Like I trained to be able to get through a 5K basically. Like I ran a mile or two around town to make sure I could run a 5K. But that was technically my first Run Disney experience.
It's fun.
I think mine was 2018. I mean, I've just done marathon weekends every year for the last, 5 years. Minus this year, obviously. And I'd say, because I've done Goofy every year since I started. I haven't done any of the other race weekends. I was supposed to do Princess this year, but that got canceled. Or I signed up for Princess thinking that it was possibly going to be the first Run Disney race that was going to be back. So I signed up for both marathon weekend and that.
Oh, yeah, we did that a while ago.
Both got canceled. My favorite race experience is probably hard to pick. Both of them marathon. I'm sorry, I did really enjoy running with you, but crossing the finish line drunk with Brittany, the first race weekend or the first marathon weekend. I mean, Margarita's, Sandy's first marathon, that finish line. Oh, wait, was that? No, that was the second one I did, because that was the one that you were at. The Sandy Beacon
that's
was the one that you were at. What year was that one?
2018.
Okay.
Because that was the year we got married.
Okay. So then 2019. Gosh, all of my years are so mixed up. I can't keep races straight. I just remember the one where Kenny had to drive me back to the hotel, and I was so drunk that I kept telling him that I missed the bus and I had no idea how I was getting back to my hotel. And he kept yelling at me that he was driving me back, and I didn't believe him. And I kept crying because I missed the bus.
Of course.
Nice.
This sounds right.
And he had bagels. For some reason, he had been volunteering and he had a bag of bagels, and I kept trying to steal his bag of bagels. I think that was probably one of my favorite
I love it.
Experiences.
So good. So good.
My first Run Disney race was 2016 Wine and Dine, which was my first half marathon. And I think my favorite was when you all did Dopey 2018, because we drove from Maryland to Florida with our friends Chris and Lisa. So we had a bit of a road trip where we stopped in Richmond and Savannah. Mm-hmm. And we hit a bunch of breweries, and just the whole experience was really fun. And then when we got down here, Like everyone was here. Some other friends came in from out of town. It was just the whole thing was great. And then also I somehow got in corral D, like naturally.
Nice.
Which was, I don't know, but I was with our friends Nikki and Nicole, and I was shocked that I was there. But it was such a different experience starting in like the middle-ish of the pack than the end of the pack, because I wasn't worried about the balloon ladies the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you did the half, right?
Yeah. So that was cool. I think that was probably my favorite experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
You did Disneyland Paris, right?
We did Disneyland Paris, and then I've done a couple of the races in Disneyland.
Well, yeah.
I like it. I want them to bring Avengers Weekend back.
Yeah, I know everyone talks about Disneyland, but I was talking to Laura Duxon about Disneyland Paris because she lives over in the Netherlands, so she's close to there. So we were talking about when we think those race weekends would start, and so I was talking about her about that. That's on my bucket list.
Yeah, we did. We did the inaugural. They didn't even have a 10K.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And that's
the 5K was the night before.
That was when you guys got engaged, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So no, that was a great race. I would do that again.
Yeah, I that's on my bucket list. I'd like to try and get over there for that.
A lot of it's in the parks.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's what I've heard,
Yeah.
and that's what I think she was telling me at some point.
Yeah, more than like any other Disney race. Disneyland, you're in the parks way more than Disney World.
Yeah.
And Disneyland Paris, you're in the parks even more than that.
Yeah.
All right, next question. This is just a general one. What are your thoughts on the expo and the merchandise and Disney merchandise?
Mine will be quick. I don't really go to I go to expos. I pick up my stuff. I leave. I'm not an expo person at all.
For the Run Disney specifically, I think that they do a really good job considering the amount of people that they have. At least it's a very well spread out. The problem is everyone wants to be there immediately because the merch is so like coveted. Yes, that's a good word for that. And so obviously that first day is just a cluster F. And I remember 2018 was the year that the lines were like around the fields and like ridiculous. So generally I think that they do a decent job being at Worldwide Sports, being like in separate buildings and kind of spreading people out and trying to like have the expo floor in a different location from where the actual bib pickup is. I think Michael appreciates that because he doesn't really want to walk around the expo floor. Although they put the T-shirts last time at the back of the expo.
Yeah, they did.
So that you had to walk through the whole floor.
I mean, that's pretty standard in any expo, really.
Yeah.
Well, the one year that wasn't. The one year you got your T-shirts up where you got your bibs.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always remember them being in two different locations. So I don't know. But I've only done Marathon Weekend that one weekend.
Yeah.
Every other time it's been, T-shirts have been kind of back by the expo.
I think that it's just the first, was it?
It had to be maybe 18 because I didn't do 18. I did
remember.
17, 19, 20.
Yeah, I don't know. We waited in because I love the expo. Like, and we hang out at the expo and make like a half day of it. Like, we get beers, we do like the specialty drinks, we go around, we go to all the booths. I want to buy all the merchandise. I would say the only negative I can think about the expo is they need to do something about the personal shoppers. Or they need to do something where people just can't buy a ton of the stuff and then sell it online.
Yeah.
But that's like the only problem I have, or just have more of it so it's not so limited so people can buy it. But I just want to be able to go in and buy what I want to buy. Like, I'll spend them. I don't care that I'm spending the money. I just don't want to have to wait in a huge line and fight people who are buying 10 of the same shirt so that they can go sell it online.
But the merch itself is in a different location. Like the Run Disney merch is in a different location than where all the booths are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's
Yes.
what, so I do like that they separate those two things. So that way, if you like don't care about Disney merch, but you want to go visit like some of the booths and look at raw threads or look at like that kind of
Yep.
stuff, you can go do that separately. So I do like that they kind of have it so that it's spread out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, every time I've gone, except for last time, I don't know why, because people weren't really around at that point. I'm not sure. But the first few times I always met up with people and grabbed drinks at beers and stuff. And they put they have the RunDisney cups, obviously. And then they put the little 26.2 or 39.3
those are my favorite cups.
Or whatever on top of your beer.
We use them all the time.
In the foam. Tom, what's your...
I was just, because the first marathon I ever did was that Wine and Dine, and so that's my first RunDisney Expo.
That actually is not true. So his first RunDisney Expo was at Disneyland when he came with me to run Avengers, and we went to breakfast at the Disneyland Hotel and walked kind of downstairs to go to the expo and got in a huge line. And Tom was like, why are people in line? And I was like, to buy the merchandise. He's like, what do you mean to buy the merchandise? Because we were in like a banquet hall room with like lines on the carpet all mapped out. So it was huge. Right. And we got there before it even opened, like, I don't know, 40 minutes before it opened. And had to stand in line, and he was like, I don't understand what this is.
Yeah, I think I was just blown away by the whole scale of all of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, do they make a lot of money off of these events?
Especially like the first day. Like but if the problem is if you don't go the first day or know someone going the first day, like if you're not flying in till Friday, there's a bunch of like group chats that are like, hey, who's going to be there on Wednesday? Because I want this shirt and I want this shirt and I want this, like, so people will go buy stuff for people because by the time they get there on Friday and fly in, it's like all that stuff's gone.
Yeah, and I'm like never a good judge of like what's going to be popular and what's not. So I always just like end up buying it. But like the thing I buy, it'll be the thing that they have still on Friday.
I'm not like a huge into their shirts as much as other people are, like the I Did It shirts and stuff like that. Like I don't always love them.
I got an I Did It shirt, I think my first 2 like RunDisney races, and then I don't get those anymore. I've gotten hoodies or jackets a couple of times. Yeah, the jackets.
I was going to say the marathon jackets are nice usually.
Yeah, so that's what I usually get. I usually get a Tervis. Like the new water bottle. Mm-hmm. And I like that they started doing the aluminum. We usually get an ornament every year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I have a couple of the water bottles.
I do like an Alex and Ani. Usually.
Oh, I always get a magnet. If you actually,
yep.
I always get the Goofy magnet.
I will say, outside of the merch, the race shirts that you get with your bib, those are my favorite shirts. Like those are my favorite running shirts.
Well, have you gotten one since they changed brands?
Yes, he likes them better.
Oh, you do?
And I'm furious. He's the only.
I think you're the only person that I know who's like, yeah, I like them better.
They don't feel good. They don't feel as soft.
Yeah,
but you like them better.
Their shirts are fun. I generally find that their sizing is weird, but they're not, for me, they're not good running shirts because they just have too much printing on them.
Yeah, he doesn't like when they have stuff on the chest.
Stuff. Like my Big Sur shirts are like perfect.
Yeah, because they just say Big Sur in the one corner.
Just a little like pocket screening, and then it's mostly on the back.
Why don't you like the stuff on your chest?
It's the nipples, isn't it?
Nipples.
Oh.
It's stigmata nipples.
Yep. Yeah, it's like super
I never even
bad
thought
for
about that.
Yeah.
I love the long sleeve.
I like the long sleeve.
I like the long sleeve too. It's just for running, they're not good.
Some running shirts I don't like when they have a ton of stuff on the front because it feels like they're like solid or like they're not flexible.
Depends on how they're printed. Yeah.
But for the most part, the Disney ones aren't like that. One of the ones that has Minnie on it, I don't remember what year that was. I think it had Mickey and Minnie on it. Or maybe it was, I don't know. But whatever shirt it is that has Minnie on it, I couldn't wear it because of that reason. Like it was too thick almost that it like felt weird. It like rubbed weird.
I've never had that problem. But if I'm wearing a long sleeve, I'm wearing a tank top under it.
Oh,
100%
Okay.
of the time.
Yeah.
Like I would never just wear a long sleeve by itself.
Oh, okay. That's why. Because I wear long sleeves by themselves.
Yeah, I generally don't run in any race shirts. There's a couple I will, just like I said, the Big Sur ones, but the Disney ones I don't. Just
Well,
there's
since
too
I
much
don't wear
printing.
fleece or anything, generally when I'm running in the winter, I'm running in the RunDisney
Yeah, the long sleeve.
because they're one of the only races that give out long sleeves.
If I'm
Yeah,
wearing a
run in-
vest,
You can run in a hoodie also, like a heavy cotton. It's nice.
heavy cotton hoodie.
Oh, God.
It's so funny. Yeah, I wear my Run Disney long sleeves all winter, but I never wear them as a base layer.
Oh, I don't wear them as like my only layer.
Yeah. Well, I usually wear like a tank top or a t-shirt and then a long sleeve.
Oh,
Or I'll
Oh,
wear
God.
cold gear and
that
then put one of
sounds
those
so
on top.
hot. Oh my God, I'm so hot thinking about that.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm cold.
It's so hot. Like just the idea of having that many layers on my chest. I'm so hot.
I
Are you sure?
I don't know.
It's what
I don't know what to
Diana
tell you.
said, or is it the 8 inches of Michael's upper thigh that I can see right now?
That's making me hot.
There you go.
That I have shorts on this week again.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine going out for a run with just a sports bra and a long sleeve shirt on.
Mm.
I can't even fathom that.
Hmm.
I don't
I
understand.
do it
Like
regularly.
what if you get hot and you need to take your long
Then
sleeve off?
I run in a
Sports bra.
Must be nice to be thin.
All right. Took a turn. I'm going to bring it back to Run Disney. All right. What is, and Michael, you might want to go first with this one, but what is your favorite race costume that you've either ran in or that you've seen on the course?
Seen. Oh gosh, seen. I've never run in one. I've only done 3, so I've never run in one. I mean, I guess. God, there's so many good ones, honestly.
There really are.
Oh, my favorite was the Aladdin one that we saw during the super hot race.
Yeah.
This poor dude was keeping this Aladdin going. It was 85 degrees.
And he had like those puffy pants
puffy
on.
pants
Oh,
on. Man, he
wow.
kept it going as long as he could.
Oh my God.
I'm like, dude, I would have cut those things down to nothing at an aid station because it was really hot.
Yeah,
And,
we were more just impressed by that part
I was
of it.
super impressed, but it was a good costume, and the fact that he held it together in that heat, I thought was pretty impressive.
Diana, what about you?
I don't know. I liked when I was the umbrella girl from Haunted Mansion.
That's a good one.
I've done that twice. One year I ran with you and you were dressed like an alligator.
Yep.
So that worked really well. I loved that costume. I'm trying to think which other. Oh, and then I think my Anna costume from my first 10K was my favorite. I loved that costume.
Yeah, you had a lot of really good costumes.
Yeah. I like it. I like the costumes. I usually I don't just do like a tank top and a sparkle skirt, and that's great. And I do that for most races. But when I'm at Disney, I don't go like full costume, but I do a little bit more than a tank top and a sparkle skirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of my problem is that I get too hot. So costumes are like really difficult for me. Because there's always that last minute change that I need to make because I'm way too hot to be like in a costume. So I tend to do more like
Bounding type.
I do what?
Bounding.
Bounding? I don't. What is bounding?
You don't
Disney
know what
bounding?
bounding
You don't know
is?
what bounding
Oh.
is?
No.
Like where your outfit is inspired by a character as opposed to being like a costume.
Being like a cosplay.
Yeah.
Like,
But I don't even think it's that. Like, I don't think. Well, I don't like. It's always a t-shirt. Like, it's always a themed t-shirt. I guess more than
matching with
anything.
fellow runners.
Like
kind of
matching
thing.
with
Yeah.
like Susanna
Yeah.
and like Megan Gorney and Mark Avis and forget who else bought the shirt. We did that Disney Star Wars Tangled mashup last year.
Yeah.
Which is available for sale.
It is on TeePublic. That had the what was it? What's the Death Star?
yeah, the Death
over
Star
top
over
of
the
the Tangled Tower.
Oh, cute.
That said, "In a tower far, far away."
Mm.
And then what else have I done? I mean, like So I've done a lot of t-shirt like themes, but not like full costumes.
Yeah.
Like,
and I don't do like, I mean, a couple of them I've done like a full costume. But most of the time they're a running costume. They're not like
Yeah.
I buy a lot of them off of Etsy, and they're usually like running material. They're like wiki material. They're not.
Ryan runs on Disney always has like really good costumes, but he makes his out of like felt and stuff like that. Like that's the stuff that like we did the Disney aliens, and that one was easy because you just put a visor and you put the googly eyes on top of the visor.
Yep.
And then you put the little Pizza Planet thing on your shirt, like
little
ironed it onto your shirt. And so we've done like iron on things. Those I don't mind again because I feel like that's very running related. Oh, I did Stitch where I put like a blue patch on my stomach. On a blue tank top, and then made the Stitch ears on a visor. So yeah, I mean, I guess that was probably the most costumey I got actually, with the blue sparkle skirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I have trouble running in costumes because I need to be in a tank top all the time, especially if even if it's like, I don't know, 40, I'm usually still in a tank top for a race.
No, I feel like if I'm going to look cute in a costume, like I'll be miserable and I'll suffer through it for the sake of the costume. For the sake of the costume.
I can't do that. I can't.
What's funny is that's like my favorite is when we all did, and this was that dopey weekend where we dressed up as DuckTales. And I was Gizmo Duck. I had an extremely tight shirt on. Gizmo Duck.
Well, you did Gizmo Duck twice, right? No, just the once.
Yeah, I did Duke Baloney the other time.
Oh, you did Duke Baloney.
So first, when I did Gizmo Duck, Chris Chiak of the Games We Grew Up With podcast was Launchpad McQuack. And he had a bomber jacket.
Yeah, he wore like a bomber jacket. He was so hot. He was dying.
Oh my
God. And a scarf.
I actually think was that the year you did Dopey?
Yeah.
I think I remember. Dopey, yeah, I think I remember seeing that bomber jacket.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was cold that year.
It was cold. I was Darkwing Duck.
You were Darkwing. You looked amazing. Lisa was Scrooge.
Yeah, because it was actually chilly that year. So the bomber
jacket.
Still,
you're in a bomber jacket.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, he was miserable. He was miserable. I remember not at the start of the race, but like in the race.
Yeah, I imagine like that quickly gets miserable.
Oh, gosh.
But the second time we did DuckTales, you were Della Duck.
I was Della Duck.
And I was a character named Duke Baloney.
Oh my God, it was so good. I was the only one that got it and laughed, and I laughed every time I saw him.
Who's a really obscure character
on the new DuckTales.
But
that's why I'm not familiar with that. I'm not
anybody
even sure
that saw me thought I was Mr. Smee.
Oh yeah, they thought you were Smee.
Oh, that was the one where you look like Mr. Smee. That's right. Yeah. Everybody thinks because we thought the same thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh God, it was so funny.
Yeah.
But if you see a picture of Duke Baloney, he looked just like him.
Yeah, they look identical. And like I appreciate really obscure characters, like different ideas. Like my dream costume, all of us dress up as different items from the blue box that you get, the blue snack box.
Oh God!
Like I'd like to be the cheese. Someone could be the chips. Someone could be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea. So that's our next race.
Yep.
Race Disney.
Someone very crafty is going to have to help with that.
Yeah. See, the thing is with, I think Run Disney costumes, it's good to be obscure so you're unique, but not so obscure that nobody recognizes.
Nobody knows what it is.
Yeah. And that's where we crossed that line. We enjoyed it, but
I just said Ryan does them. He was like a magic band one year where that's like something like nobody else has like thinks of doing, and it's creative, but it's like you see it and you're like, oh, he's a magic band.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So it's a fine line.
Yes. Next question. What is your favorite non-character experience on a Run Disney course? So like not a character stop. But the other stuff that's out there.
Riding Everest during the marathon.
Yeah, that's it for me.
I am not fast enough.
You could do it. If I could do it, you could do it. We're the same pace.
Yeah. I am disappointed that this year was as hot as it was and we just wanted to get off, and that they had changed the course, because we got fast passes for Tower of Terror.
Oh, yeah.
And we were going to try and do Tower of Terror because of the way that they changed the course. But it was so hot.
We just really wanted to get
so
done.
Smelly. Yeah. We couldn't even think about the idea of like being inside, and then like we were so wet from like being sweaty, then you're inside air conditioning, and then you got to run again. Yeah, like we couldn't even imagine that.
Well, by then it was upper 80s.
Yeah,
and they were actually just about to flag the race.
And that's the second time that I've gotten fast passes for Tower of Terror and then not been able to use them.
Would they have let me on without a shirt?
That was the one.
Probably not.
Yeah, the 1 year that you ran away from us.
Yeah.
When you ran away from poor sweet Susanna.
Let me see. Do I have any?
I don't know. You've never done a ride, because even if there's time,
nope,
you get freaked out. Mm-hmm. You're not going to do it.
Well, that's because of the balloon ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah. I get that, though.
No, I get that.
Two not so great experiences, which are kind of funny to watch, but sort of mean. One, Cone Alley is a death trap. I'm the first time I ever was on it, I'm like, how are more people not just eating it right in this little funnel of an area? And the other one is so when you were doing the full, you run down Main Street.
Yeah.
And if you get in front of is it the movie theater, the cinema to watch?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody stops to take their selfie with the castle right there.
Okay.
And like, so every like third person will stop, and then the people around them who are still trying to move forward, like, will run into them. Like, it's just like a traffic jam, and everybody's passive aggressively hating on each other.
So so passive aggressive hating and running into each other is your favorite thing? That's not.
No, that's my anti-favorite thing.
I feel like I've never cheered a Run Disney race. I feel like I need to do it every time I've ever been down there for a race weekend. I've done all of the races. Like, even when we've gone down as a group, sometimes I've been the only one that signs up for the 5K. And I'll just go and do it by myself, because I love the Disney 5Ks, even though they're expensive.
I cheered the Disney 10K because I do Goofy. So I did the 10K and I dressed up as in a Stitch onesie and screamed my lungs out. And the tailors still say that they could hear me like a mile away.
Not surprising.
I love it.
And we were on the boardwalk with Brittany and Jen Lowe and Anita and a bunch of people. And that was really fun, because every single time we saw people that we knew and they stopped for selfies and stuff like that, that was fun. I definitely recommend cheering a Run Disney event. So real quick, my other favorite thing that's not character related is getting to Epcot and, well, really Hollywood Studios and starting to drink.
Yeah.
On course. Because Run Disney is not one I go to. I mean, this past year we didn't actually stop because it was so hot that the idea of actually stopping and drinking was also torturous. We just wanted to finish. And that's unusual for me. But normally, when you get to Epcot, you get your first beer at UK, and then you can get one at Germany, and then you get your margarita, and you cross the finish line with your margarita. So that's usually my favorite non-character experience.
It's a good one.
My least. Do we have least favorites?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Oh, I just wanted to mention my least favorite from my first marathon experience.
What's that?
And this is not a shot against anyone or how they run. It's
run. It's gonna be me.
It's the
walking.
It's the run walk pacing groups. I was struggling hard. It was my first marathon, and it was cold as anything, and I was struggling hard. And you know how awful Wide World of Sports is. It's like, pathways and turning and stuff.
Miserable.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's these tight pathways, and I was just trotting along doing my pace, and then the run walk group would pass me. They would all stop and not with no warning whatsoever and do their walks, a group of like 30 people. And I'm like,
it's just it's
just
such
be
a huge
considerate.
group,
Yeah.
and they take up a lot of space.
They got to be more considerate. Like, I don't care what pacing group it is or what pace you're doing or whatever, or, however you finish is how you finish. Like, I have no issues with that whatsoever. I have serious issues with the lack of consideration.
It just was that they weren't
groups.
calling their walks.
Well, no, they were taking up the whole damn path.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
move to the
happens.
right. Yeah. Like, that's great that you want to run with the pacing group. There are other people running this race, and you got to be considerate of them as well.
You're getting really mad.
I was really mad.
Irate right now. Look, listen to him. He's
Well,
getting
and
irate.
I've jumped, like, if I've been struggling and like I see a pacing group and they're running like a interval, I'm like, oh, I think I could do that interval. Sometimes I'll jump in with the interval for a little while. But I will agree, like, because it's a group of so many people, they take up all of the space.
Yeah, they need to,
which isn't bad when you're on a road.
Yeah, when you're on a road, it's
path,
fine. Yeah.
But in wide world of sports, there's no space. There's
nowhere to
space
go.
to begin with.
And I feel like the pacer should be calling that out. Like, they're the experienced one, most likely. Like, because I hopped in with a guy down in Jekyll Island Marathon who was doing intervals, and it saved me. I was like, I'm just going to follow his intervals, and it got me through to what I needed to get through before I could run again. So, like, I have no issue with the intervaling thing. It's just the consideration of moving out of people's way, actually.
But I also think that's somewhat unique to a RunDisney race.
Much more prevalent there, yeah.
You'll definitely see, because there's a lot of walkers, and you'll see them walking 4 or 5 across.
Yeah.
And then when that collides with runners that may have gotten in a later corral or trying to make up some time, when those two groups meet,
it's
bad. Little Tommy is standing by watching them. This is not even passive aggression. Like, they're like, you got to be on the sides. You got to be in the middle. We paid for the race. We're supposed to be here too. Like, it's amazing how negative people can get in the happiest place.
And I want to say, honestly, that is probably, I know that I've listened to other podcasts that have talked about this as well, that like Princess Weekend is one of the most diva weekends for fights on course.
100%. Because I've done it 3 times.
Like, people get real mad real quick.
Yeah. And Tinkerbell, I don't think is as bad as Princess, but the one year I did Tinkerbell and Princess so I could get the pink coast to coast.
Yeah.
And Tinkerbell is kind of bad, but not Princess bad.
Yep.
Because a lot of people use Princess as their first race ever.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of race or course
but
etiquette.
You would think that they would still like be happy and friendly and nice. This is our first race in Disney, and like I have heard some personal stories from some personal friends with some very interesting stories.
I mean, we get cranky on this podcast sitting on our couches. in that environment, you've gotten up at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're cold and hot.
Yeah, or hot.
True.
Yeah.
Both sometimes.
And you're trying to look cute or cool or put together if you're like in a costume. And then that starts to deteriorate after a little bit because you're sweating through it. Like, there's a lot of stuff that comes out in frustration.
Disney course etiquette is different than other course etiquette.
Yeah.
And I mean, someone's probably going to, again, yell at their phone or wherever they're listening this. But my understanding at a Disney race is that runners are in the middle, that walkers can be on both sides. It's not that runners are on one side, on the right side. It's walkers are on both sides, and then runners are right down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Is what my understanding of Disney race etiquette was.
That would make sense, especially like on the roadways and stuff, because you can have water on both sides.
And honestly,
where usually it's runners on the left, walkers on the right.
Yeah.
But
and generally, honestly, on the roads and stuff like that, it's not an issue. It's only when you get into like, like Wide World of Sports, or this year with Blizzard Beach or wherever it was. Where it's tighter, or not this year, but whatever, 2020, where it's tighter paths. That's the only time it's really an issue, because when you're on the roadways, there's so much room. I mean, honestly, you're not like getting packed in.
And it's hard, right? Because Tom and I are we're interval runners, and we're on a set interval. And some people, they cannot run outside that interval, and I get that. But if I'm in a tight spot, I'll do whatever the group around me is doing until I get out of that spot and skip an interval if I need to, if it's really crowded. But I know there are people that have trained on that interval and running the extra 2 minutes that might be there. They just can't do. And, what can you do? That's
well,
fine,
I think the other thing is that what you just said is that a lot of people are new to it. So when they're out on their paths and doing what they want to do,
they have to do.
They are doing it on their own. There's no one behind them. They don't have to worry about the people around them. And so when they get into the situation where they have to worry about the people around them, they're in their head still, and they forget that they're in a new environment. And then that's the thing with the whole, like, raise your hand when you're going to walk, like that. I would say the newbies do not necessarily know that they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so that you just get like that person that just screeches to a halt, and you're like, okay.
And I think if you're a solo runner, it's not as big of a deal. For me, it's the pacing groups that become an issue.
Or when you're going so far across, rather than if four of you running together, maybe run 2 and 2.
Yeah.
You can hear each other better anyway.
Yeah.
Honestly, like if I'm running with a group of 4, I'd rather have 2 in front and then 2 in back, because then you can at least talk to
each other. Yeah, no, I agree.
But it's the groups that run like so far across, it's hard to get around them.
And on the roadways, not an issue because they're super wide. So you can it's luxurious. And
I tried, because I'm sure I was guilty of bad runner etiquette when I
everybody
first started.
is.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I think now I even try when I'm doing intervals, like if I know a walk is coming up, like I'll move over to the side even. And I don't think, when I first started running, I would do that. I would just stay in a straight line. And now I kind of move over and back and forth a little bit more than I used to.
I mean, it's a lot. Like the whole thing, and just the scale of it again, and the amount of people, like it's so many people.
It's just a lot of people. Yeah,
it's so many people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this one should be pretty quick. What is your favorite pre-race or post-race meal destination? Walt Disney World.
I am very much Italian food before a race, and that's just what I do and what I always do. And I've done a few different places. Last race, where did we go? Mario and Enzo's in Disney Springs.
We went
there,
it was
great.
That was great. Yeah.
That was great. That was like the perfect thing to do, because we didn't have to go into a park. We kind of went over, had dinner, did kind of a lap, and then came back. But I've also eaten in a couple of the restaurants in Italy before.
Mm-hmm.
But I typically try and do Italian.
Oh, do you mean, did we do Disney Springs, or do you mean that we did
Maria and Enzo's? But was it the Edison, am I thinking of?
No, we did the Edison, but that wasn't for pre-race.
That was post.
I mean, technically I did pre-race. Well, technically it was pre-race because we did that Friday night. So for me, it was before the half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys don't do pasta typically before a race, right?
We did the place with Matt Frumpa.
Oh yeah, I don't remember the name of it. Haleo. We did Haleo.
We did Haleo.
Which is because what you want is spicy food before the marathon.
Yeah, so this is the thing, is that like
everything you guys eat before a race, I can't even imagine.
Just don't think about it anymore. I used to like, it was steak and a potato, and that was like or chicken and a potato.
I used to do pasta as well, though, so I don't want to pretend like I didn't. But yeah, I certainly used to do pasta pretty regularly.
And
I never did.
It's more mental. It's more mental for me.
I get that.
And I have like weird rules. Like I will not eat seafood, even though usually like my go-to seafood has shrimp in it. Or my go-to pasta has shrimp in it, and I don't do that before a race.
Yeah.
No,
I just don't. I have like weird rules.
I don't have rules anymore. I mean, we did Raglan Road the 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I have eaten all over. I would say that post-race, my favorite meal so far was we went to Sanaa right afterwards.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Bread service right after the marathon.
Oh, yeah, we did Sanaa and then Oga's.
Amazing. Oh, yeah.
And closed down Oga's.
Yeah.
So we went from amazing. 2 a.m. till like midnight closing down Oga's.
Yeah, that was a rough
amazing.
That was like a perfect marathon.
a lot of times we'll do Trader Sam's after a race for like a celebration.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Or if we can't go into Trader Sam's, we go just to like Tambu Lounge upstairs.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, we actually, I should say, we always do. So the last few ones we've done Top of the World fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
So we did Sanaa Top of the World fireworks, and then we went over
to
Oga's.
Yeah.
Last time. But we met friends in each place because his friends from Florida were at Sanaa or going to be over in Animal Kingdom area.
Yeah.
So we went
we met
and
friends
them there. And then we met Susanna and a bunch of other people over at Top of the World. And then we met his other set of friends over in Hollywood Studios. So yeah, last time we did like a huge tour.
Blowout.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was like
that.
the best way to celebrate.
Yeah.
You know, because you just like the whole day.
I
it's
will
just
say
Disney,
that
you know?
bread service after
bread service is
marathon.
Amazing, period. But yeah, after a marathon.
You haven't done that yet,
I've
have
never
you?
done that.
We've never done Sanaa with you.
Yeah.
So
gotta do
good.
it.
Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, you've never even been to Animal Kingdom Lodge, have you?
Ooh.
I don't
Because we've
think
never
so.
eaten there.
No.
Oh.
Like I've
Wow.
eaten there.
Okay,
Where's Yak and Yeti? That's in
In
Animal
Animal
Kingdom.
Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom. Yeah, we
Okay.
stayed at Animal Kingdom there last time we were there.
Oh yeah, we stayed with
for
Frumpa.
one-
Yeah.
Yeah. For the one night. But yeah, I love Animal Kingdom Lodge. I love watching the animals and just, waking up and having a giraffe be outside your window.
Yeah, I generally feel like a protein is pretty good after the race. Maybe like for me, it's like a fish or something or a burger. You know.
Yeah, I mean, normally after a race, I'm all about the burger, but
Yeah.
Same.
I will say that Sanaa was
Yeah, Sanaa hit
Perfect.
the spot though.
perfect.
That was like legit.
Yeah.
Sanaa's always good though.
Oh gosh, it's so good.
We have Drink Around the World.
Mm.
And that actually got away from us. That was Princess Weekend.
And we did it before the Dopey 5K.
Okay.
We've gotten way too drunk
Yep.
on a monorail bar crawl
Yeah.
twice before Disney races. I don't know why we don't do it at the end.
No.
Yeah.
Bad
Oh
decision.
We
my
do it at
God.
the beginning. Like, I don't know what we're thinking.
I think that right now festivals are like literally all year round at Epcot. That would be a good way to end a race too, is eating around Epcot. With
Oh,
the
that would be
festivals.
amazing. Just
Yeah.
tasting everything.
Tasting everything
Oh,
after, like
God.
hit every single food booth after a race.
Like at Wine and Dine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my God. I just remember, what was it? 19, the 7.5 hour marathon. God, that was pretty warm too. It was 80 degrees. It wasn't like upper 80s, but it was low 80s. Man, let me tell you, the beer hits good when you've run a marathon and it's 82 degrees out.
Yeah. Quick. It hits quick.
Yep.
Oh, we ate.
It's
That
good.
is the year we ate with Susanna and Brittany and Frumpa at Narcoossee, right?
Narcoossee's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a steak after that. That was also good. Slightly overpriced for a steak. But
Yeah,
you're
I mean, it's
over
Disney.
at,
It's all overpriced.
You're
so.
over
Overpriced
at.
in Disney?
I know, but like,
Never.
I feel like even
Shame
more
on
so
you.
because you're over at what's it called?
Grand Flow, yeah.
Grand Flow. Yeah. So,
Where was it? Narcoossee's?
Yeah.
Narcoossee's, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
How many more questions you got, Tom?
One more question and then kind of a final thought situation.
Okay.
All right. Do you think Marathon Weekend 2022 will happen?
No.
Yeah, Michael and I are on opposite sides. I think he thought that I was with him, but I'm not. I'm only like, it keeps getting lower. I'd say I'm like 30% it happens.
I'm high. I'm way higher than that. I'm like 70% that it happens.
And the longer that goes by without them making any statement, even about Wine and Dine and just canceling Wine and Dine at this point, the less and less confident I am that it happens. I just think that Disney has bigger fish to fry, and getting their parks to capacity is their biggest fish. And adding runners and volunteers to the parks when they're not even at full capacity yet is something that I think that is going to hold them back.
That's kind of what I was thinking. And I mean, how and why Run Disney started was to get people to come to the park when it's not crowded.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kind of became this cash cow, and they added more races when the big running, bubble was happening. But honestly, the parks are at capacity now, they're printing money basically. So as much as I would love the races to come back, I don't think they have a reason to bring them back until they're ready to bring them back.
I think that they'll come back. I think that the marathon has been around for a very long time. I don't think it's just going to go away, but I think that it's the last thing that's going to come back is Run Disney.
I don't think they're ever, and this is Diana's hot take, and I'm really sad about it, but I don't think they're ever coming back to Disneyland. I don't think there'll ever be another Run Disney Disneyland. And when it does come back, I'll be the first person to register because that's all I want to happen. But my gut tells me it's just not going to happen.
And the fact that they haven't come back to California kind of gives me an indication that unless there's a reason to bring them back to Disney World, like I said, the marathon weekend, I think is of all the weekends that's going to come back is the weekend that's going to come back because the marathon has been a long-standing tradition.
Yeah, you're talking,
so if one comes back, it's going to be marathon weekend. It's just a matter of when. And I think, like I said, until they get the parks to capacity, I don't think it's their priority.
And marathon weekend's at a great time to get people into the park because it's usually the middle of January. I mean, the last couple of years, they pushed it really close to New Year's. But in the past, it was like 2 weeks after New Year's when the parks are, not crowded. So I think you're right. If anything's going to come back, it would be during that time when they want to get people down there.
Yeah.
After they've, spent all their money at Christmas.
I mean, I'm sad about it. I really, 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 really miss Run Disney, and we're still booked for marathon weekend, and it's the characters. It's because it's a unique race. There's nothing else like it. There's no other races where you get to stop for 25 character stops, and it's an opportunity to see characters up close and get pictures with them that you don't get in the parks, really, because it's really hard sometimes to get character stops and not stand in line all day. So it's just a unique way. And they have unique characters out there that you don't get to see in the park sometimes. Like, it's just a very different running experience. And so for that reason, I'm super sad if it doesn't come back, but I get it not coming back next year.
No, they're like my favorite races. And if they weren't so expensive, I would do every race every year.
Yeah.
But because they're so expensive, I, pick and choose. But if I had the opportunity, I would go to all of them all the time.
Tom, do you think they're coming back?
I'm optimistic only because you see a lot more in-person races. But I mean, to your point, and the politics with the parks, like, it's different than, like, Marathon Weekend is different than Boston Marathon or London Marathon, where you have marathoners that have to qualify. And I'm not going to say the word real runners because there's absolutely real runners at Run Disney, but like, I feel like it's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's a completely different experience. Right. So, I mean, I would like to see it come back. I think if they try to make it come back too soon, it's going to be so altered that it's going to really turn people off.
Which I think is also something that I've said in like different groups and stuff, that until they can do it the way that it is, like like the quote unquote normal way of doing it, I don't think it'll come back, because I don't think that they can come back and expect runners to not have character stops. I don't think they can come back and expect runners to not wear masks or have to wear a mask. Like, there's just those things that I don't think that those experiences are going to come back until those things happen. And
as a Disney fan, and I'll say this and I'll own it because I'm part of it, we are the absolute worst. We are awful. Like, they can't make a decision and win anytime. It doesn't matter.
No, I agree with that.
It was like the 5Ks are taking up too much time, so let's shorten them. So we'll just have like these weird selfie stations. Then everyone complained about that. And then they brought them out. Like, they can't, like, no matter what decision they make, people are going to be mad at them. So like, they need to make the change. It's going to be like the path of least resistance for them, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
So, final thoughts on Run Disney, Running in Disney, Race Disney, whatever you want to call it. Any thoughts?
It's my favorite thing, and I'll do it forever.
Okay.
If you haven't done it, because I know that, we definitely have Run Disney listeners. If you have not run Disney, I do highly recommend it. I was not, like, a lot of people start a lot of the Run Disney people started running because of Disney. I was the opposite. I started running on my own and then I went to Disney. And I've been a Disney fan all of my life, but not in the way that the running experience allows you to have.
Yep.
And it's a very unique experience. You don't go to, well, some people go to Disney for time. I don't go to Disney for time. I go there for the fun, the friends, the running through the parks, the running and seeing characters. So if you've never done a Disney race and you are a Disney fan, I do really highly recommend doing a Run Disney race.
Yeah. I mean, I started running so I could run at Disney. That was literally why I
feel like
running.
That's a lot of people in the Run Disney community. That's true to them. I feel like for me, I'm coming from the other way where I became a runner and then I experienced Run Disney later. So if you've been a runner for a long time or even a little while and you just want a fun running experience and one that you can say, this isn't a race that I'm going to do for time. This is just a race I'm going to do for myself and for some fun. Run Disney is one of the best places to do that. Yeah.
And I mean, I started listening to, Lou Mangello's WDW Radio. That was like my podcast for a really, really long time. It was like the first Disney podcast I listened to, the one I was really into. And when he said that he could run a half marathon and talked about, it was kind of an every man's race, right? Like everyone could do it. That really inspired me to try. And then later when I started doing the races stuff, then I found the Mickey Milers, but I didn't get into it because of Mickey Milers. Like that wasn't the first Run Disney. Like I don't even think I started listening to Mickey Milers until after I'd done my first Run Disney event.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about it is it was like surreal the first time I ever ran around World Showcase because I'd never done that and I was jealous of everyone who had. And the first time I did it, I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool to be there when no one else, I mean, the runners are there, but like when no one else is there, I don't know. I feel like sometimes when you're in a spot and you're running and they've shut it down specifically so you could run through it, I feel like you're getting away with something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm running through the castle. No one's here.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And that's a very unique experience.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. Running through Magic Kingdom is probably, I like everywhere else, but Magic Kingdom and running through the castle, especially if you, the one year I did it, where I was able to get there while it was still dark out and the castle still had the lights from the Christmas
lights.
So it's like,
that's awesome.
The frozen sparkled castle and it was all lit up and the sun was just barely peeking up.
That is great.
I mean, it's spectacular.
Yeah.
So I love the castle.
I agree. That's great. That was my first one. I got there in the dark.
It.
Yeah.
Do we want to squeeze in something good?
Yeah, we can do quick ones, I guess. Right?
Sure.
So my something good for this week is the 3028 podcast. I think I've mentioned it a couple times on this show, but I don't think it's ever been my something good. That's my favorite Disney podcast. I'm really bad about listening to podcasts, including our podcast. The joke is always I haven't listened. But the one that I make sure that I listen to every week is the 3028. And they just do kind of in-depth historical looks at Disney. Yep. Yeah, they're my fave.
Yeah, I really enjoy that one.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Yeah. My something good is that the People Mover is back. And I'm super excited to go in June and ride the People Mover. And I might just ride it and then ride it and then ride it and then ride it.
My something good is the Sanaa bread service. Can't talk about it enough. It's excellent.
So good. All the little dipping
if you go
sauces.
And you go to Sanaa, just get the bread service.
Tom, next time we're in Disney at the same time, maybe in October when all four of us are going to be there, I'll make an ADR for Sanaa for us. And we can go there for like the first night we get to Florida.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yes.
Yep.
And then my something good, we're going to be at Aulani in like 3 days. And
I'm going to cry.
And Diana's going to pass out multiple times. But I'm going to have like the rummiest drinks floating through their lazy river. It's going to be fantastic.
Aw, I can't wait till one of the characters lays you. You guys have to take some videos of that. It's going to be so cute.
Tom was getting his GoPro ready, and he found all this footage of when I saw Batu for the first time, and I'm like hard crying.
Oh, gosh.
In the video. So I don't even know what Alani's going to do.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good episode. Fun.
Yeah. We'll see ya.
See you real soon.
So this is Tom, and for Aaron, Michael, and Diana, reminding you to always get your pets spayed or neutered.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Bye.
Let me know when. Are you recording? Who was that? Was that you? That's the most impressive thing that's ever come out of your mouth.